Health Channel, all health, all the time. I'm Kathy Buccio, and with us is Jerome and Stephanie Turner, trainers with the People's Gym. If you have a question for Jerome and Stephanie, please call in using the toll-free number 855-796-4475. We love to hear from you. Now, Jerome, something you're very passionate about is teaching children and adults how to deal with bullying, and I think that is amazing. So why is that?
I like quotes. I like people that talk about wisdom. And a wise man said, if you're going to do something for the rest of your life, attack something that bothers you. It'll give you hunger to fix it every day. So I don't like people being picked on. I don't like see people, cower up and allow somebody to step on them like a doormat. So I say, you know what? Let me start to empower children as if I was a parent right now.
Right.
I wouldn't want nobody to touch my child. Of course not. No child was. But my approach to bullying is more of I want to bark loud. I don't want to cower in the corner and allow anyone to put their hands on me. So.
And something you had said that you and I were talking about before is that you're not necessarily promoting violence or hitting, because that's not what it's about.
No, of course not. Me being a fighter, having a professional license, I can't put my hands on nobody. Not just cause. I have to get hit first, is what a police officer told me. But no one usually picks on me, but tall people, large people do get picked on, especially if you're the only person in the room that's tall. I did get, when I was a child, bullying was a little stronger, but when I got in middle school, they just called me Giraffe or Big Bird.
Right.
Whatever, because of my height. But my skin was already thick by then, so it didn't really bother me. See what I said? My skin was thick. I was used to being picked on, and I knew how to come back with words. So it was no need for me to resort to violence. I've been in plenty of fights as a child. Yes, but this is not what I'm promoting. I'm promoting standing up for yourself, believing in yourself,
right.
Vocalizing, speaking up. If someone's bothering you, yes, tell your parents. But it comes to a point in time where you have to stand up on your own, because you're going to get older one day, and that bubble that your parents created for you is going to bust when you go off to school or wherever you decide to go as an adult.
Absolutely. Now, Stephanie, were you ever bullied growing up, or?
I was a little bullied when I was in high school, but I experienced some bullying at work a few years ago, and it was very rough.
Wow, as an adult?
Yeah, as an adult, you get picked on at work. It's sad that sometimes men think that they have the power to pick on you because you're a woman. So my husband came to rescue me, and he was like, you need to pick on yourself. You need to don't let anybody pick on you, and you speak. Like if it really bothers you, because it did. It bothered me for months. It made me cry every single day, because it was just a tough environment to be at work.
If I may say this, I don't want to mention the place we worked, but I told her before she started working, I said, listen, I know me, and you're my wife. If I have to walk in that room, I'm coming in there with business, right? So don't come get me for something small. Come get me if something really happens, right? So what it was, a certain individual was picking on her, bigger, larger, different gender, who was picking on her, and she would come home daily. Not daily, out of 5 days, 2 days, which is enough for me. And it was over a 3-month period. So I said, okay, point this guy out. Described him, I saw him, and he got whiffed that was my wife that he was picking on. So when he saw me, he cowered down. And he saw that he couldn't do that to me. And of course I was furious, never touched him, didn't say anything disrespectful to him. But the thoughts that was going through my head to say that you would pick on a woman, and of all women, you picked on my wife.
Right.
You're treading on thin ice. You're really about to get in trouble. But nothing happened. Things begin to settle down, and it worked out. But if I wasn't there to be that imposing figure, what would have happened?
Right. Yes. You'd have to stand up and use your words.
Yeah.
Or learn to defend yourself.
Yeah, or
Yes.
right, yeah. So.
Now, I know that one of the big things that we're tackling now, and I know that you do this because you both go to schools and you speak at schools, is cyberbullying. And as you said, it's very different from growing up as a kid. It's a different kind of bullying, and now we are in the throes of social media and the Me Too movement and everything. Yes. With young kids or young adults who are dating or on apps. And this is big part of your business, and I think it's so important. So tell me what you see daily when it comes to the world of cyberbullying and how both of you help.
You want me to go first? I'll go. So, okay, me being born in 82, going through the 80s, bullying was more physical. I spoke about that. More physical for boys, and with women, it was more psychological, maybe a little pulling of the hair. But now, in the new millennium, with social media platforms everywhere, one of the most important things for children is their stature amongst their friends, their peers. They want to keep a certain type of mystique amongst their friends. When you embarrass a child, you really hit home. Quick story about me. When I was in the 3rd grade, Ninja Turtles was everything. My mother told me, do not take your Ninja Turtles to school. I only had like 2 or 3 at the time.
And we took our Ninja Turtles to school.
Anyway, but now, as I got older, I had more Ninja Turtles, so if I would have took one out the stash, she wouldn't have knew. At the time, I only had 3. So I took 2 of them, left 1. So she came to school and she embarrassed me. She said, when you get home, I'm a whoop you, right? She didn't say it like that. She said it in a different way. But I'm gonna whoop you when you get home. Children in the classroom laughed. She took the toy, she went home. Never touched me. But that stained me so hard. It made me straighten up, and I never brought my toys against school again because of my experience of being embarrassed. She did it on purpose. Now, when you deal with cyberbullying is different forms, but the form I want to hit on is when people get picked on and they just make fun of. Now, back in the 90s, if I would have made fun of you, I just made fun of you in front of like 20 people. It stopped there. Cyberbullying, all I have to do is hit one button and tag 1,500 people,
and now you got
people.
hundreds of people.
Now you have people from other schools making fun of you, and children are overwhelmed because no one taught them how to be tough. No one taught them how to believe in themselves. No one taught them how to stand up for themselves or develop that skin that's tough and they can walk away from it. They don't know how to handle it. And I've heard cases. I haven't met any children yet, but I've heard cases, and I did seminars with certain parents where they say kids would commit suicide off of cyberbullying, not physical bullying. Cyberbullying, because they felt like they just couldn't face the crowd any longer.
Right, that's so sad. Now we have a list of some warning signs that might indicate a child is being bullied. And are all these signs parents should look out for their kids? Stephanie, some of these very common that you see?
I think anxiety was one of them. Kids nowadays, they just don't know how to deal with things. Unfortunately, my perspective, I kind of blame the parents that they're working so hard and they don't fully give time to the kids. And kids need time. Mostly now with a lot of technology, they just can go in and find anything and everything in the phones. And I just think parents need to be more aware that the kids are exposed to a lot of things in the phone. And for a 5 years old to have a phone, and I'm 27 and you have the same phone as me, I don't think that's okay.
The same ability.
I believe once we have our kids, I'm not going to allow my kids to have this technology. I know it's necessary in some points, but I will not allow my kids to just be open to the world, because the world don't care about anything or everybody, so they just want to expose things, and kids are not strong enough to deal with that.
This is a theory that I have for us. I said this, when we have children, whether it's boy or girl, I am going to make my children fight 10 fights in the ring. Hear this out. I'm gonna teach them how to box. I'm gonna make them, boy or girl, have a fight 10 fights in the ring. After the 10 fights is over, if they don't want to box no more, they don't have to. If they want to continue, you're dealing with the right guy. So what I want to do is teach them discipline, teach them how to win, lose, like other sports, but I want to teach them how to stand on their own 2 feet. I don't want my son to get caught up in the wrong game. I don't want my daughter to run and think she has to do something with her body to fit in. So boxing is going to teach them how to stand their own ground, be their own individual. So I don't have to get a phone call and say that my son or daughter has ran off and got caught up in a situation and did something stupid. So I want to teach my children how to believe in themselves early. If you teach a child something at a young age, as they grow, it gets stronger and stronger. Go ahead. And
no, I want to elaborate on that, because you're really talking about the benefits of boxing, and I like that theory, and I like that theory because it teaches not just something physical, but it teaches something very mental. And I want to bring up that graphic because these are some of those benefits besides the physical, but this is important. Can you talk about these, Jerome?
Improving balance. Yeah, jumping rope helps posture. Boxing increases alertness. That's probably one of increases alertness and builds confidence.
Yes.
I do this exercise that I'll do later in today's show, I do this exercise where it's just something I noticed on my own. I used to be a bouncer. I used to be a security guard. I used to be a bouncer for celebrities about 8 years ago. So I worked with people. So when people got out, when they would walk up on me and I could no longer see let's say I was giving you eye contact and I was walking up on you. When you are able to stop seeing my feet, that's when I began to get too close to you. A lot of people don't know that. So I did that exercise with a few of my clients, and they was like, I never thought about that. Of course not. I'm a fighter. So if someone's having an altercation with you, or you see somebody walking awkwardly and they begin to walk up on you and their feet disappears and you have eye contact with them, they're probably in range where they can touch you. And when I'm in crowded places, I always keep my back against the wall.
Taking that one in.
You have to. You have to. You have to be aware of where you're going. That's where it was when I was working with Carrollton, the girls, the all-girls school here. I was teaching, it was 200 girls, and we did a seminar. And I was working with those girls and young ladies also. And I was teaching them how to be aware of their surroundings. Don't just be in the world on your phone, walking across the street, thinking everything is all happy-go-lucky. Some people are preying on you. This is a sick world we live in.
Wow. Now, we've got a fun segment coming up next, and in just a few short minutes, Jerome will actually be teaching a bit of boxing to my daughter, Maya. So stay tuned to see his methods in practice. You're watching the Health Channel, all health all the time, on South Florida PBS. If you have a question for Jerome and Stephanie, please call in using the toll-free number, 855-796-44